Today we're rebuilding the Buffalo Bills. Bills have entered a bit of a fire sale mode, and fans are worried that their Super Bowl window has closed. So today, over the next 10 years, we're going to try and rebuild around the football alien known as Josh Allen, and with a little help of an elite wide receiver from the 2024 NFL Draft, and the greatest punter of all time, we're going to try and build a dynasty. So yeah, as we highlighted in the intro, the Buffalo Bills are, certainly not what they were. I mean, it's not a stretch to say they have the worst wide receiver room in the NFL. Luckily for them, I mean, as far as skill position players are concerned, James Cook kind of popped off down the stretch for them last season. Having both Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid in real life is good. As it relates to Madden, you only really need one tight end. I've never really found a way to have two tight ends involved unless you move one tight end to the slot position. I think it might be in our best interest at some point, maybe this offseason, we trade Dawson Knox kind of as the odd man out. There's still a lot of value, 27.81 with a star dev. I just don't know. Like, honestly, I want a wide receiver. Any team that are stacked to wide receiver that need tight end help, give me a ring. The offensive line is solid, I guess. Dawkins, I mean, for a 10-year rebuild, Dawkins, Collins, McGovern, not really on the right side of the age there. They go Cyrus Torrence, who was a great rookie out of Florida, and Spencer Brown, athletic freak, is finally starting to put it all together. Now, the only bit of not realism that I have, and I did this 3 times, and I said, you know what? It's just not meant to be. Von Miller retired every single offseason. I couldn't change it. I didn't really want to change his age a whole lot. I even changed his age down 1 year. Thought that'd be enough right before I recorded this one. Still retired, so I said, screw it. We're going Epineza. They just re-signed him anyways. Ed Oliver, finally putting it all together, was my favorite player 5 years ago coming out of Houston in that draft class. And it took him a little bit, but now he's starting to emerge as one of the better young D tackles in the league. Greg Rousseau, his time cut out of Miami, was a project-type player, but another guy, much like Ed Oliver, finally starting to hit his stride. I expect big things with no Von Miller now. Primarily running nickel, so Bernard and Milano at linebacker is fine, but massive, massive turnover in the secondary. No more Jordan Poyer. No more Micah Hyde. We got Edwards. We got Taylor Rapp. No more Tre'Davious White. We got Teron Johnson as our highest rated corner, but he's going to play in the slot. I love Rasul Douglas being a superstar dev because we all know he's a fan of the channel. We have Benford, who's emerged. We have Kyer Elam, who I'll have to try to put aside my Florida Gator bias. But the reality is, as far as Madden is concerned, still some upside there. Only 23.76 with a dev trait. So We got guys there, but it's a massive change from having Trey White, who was an X factor. You have Poyer, who's been a superstar for years. You have Hyde, who's been as reliable as they come. We gotta endure. We gotta figure this thing out. Looking into the draft, well, we can't really use any of the compensation from the Stefon Diggs trade because they got a second-round pick next year. But this year, be it the first, second, multiple rounds for sure, we do need to try to target some wide receivers. It's an outstanding draft class from Marvin Harrison, Odunze, Neighbors, Thomas, Mitchell, McConkey, Worthy, Coleman, Franklin, Polk, Wilson, Pearsall, Corley, Walker, legit. Some people have Burton in there. McMillan's legit. Rice could be something. Johnny Wilson, 6'7". Malik Washington's underrated. Javon Baker's underrated. Cornelius Johnson is a Rasbees. Jacob Cowing is getting Deshaun Jackson. Like, there are as many as 20 wide receivers from this year's draft class that I won't be shocked are at worst wide receiver 2 once they get their NFL careers off the ground. So that is the good news, is that I don't think we're going to have to rely on Khalil Shakir and Curtis Samuel as our wide receivers. I think we go multiple. I think we even explore the opportunity of trading up. Harrison's likely a lock to go in the top 5, but if Odunze falls a little bit, if Neighbors falls out of the top 10, Brian Thomas, Adonai Mitchell, Ladd McConkey, Xavier Worthy, Keon Coleman, all legitimate options for where the Bills pick late in the first round. And then, hey, come second round, if any of these first-round great wide receivers are still there, you know we're going to go grab them. So we were able to make a trade, and you're going to see why we made that trade real quick as we trade from pick 28 up to 19. So we send pick 28, our 3rd round next year, our 4th round this year, on top of Dawson Knox, 81 star dev, 27-year-old tight end. I got Long and Brown thrown in. Brown actually is a nice rotational guy, but for the most part, that was just to make the salary cap work. But we essentially trade all of that to move up to pick 19 in the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft because there was a free fall. And at pick 19 of the first round, somehow, someway, Rome Odunze still on the board. 6'3", 215, a catch in traffic, a deep route running, 4.3 speed, elite acceleration, elite jumping, great speed. He's the jump up. Honestly, he reminds me, he's like a faster T. Higgins. If T. Higgins wasn't, because I mean, T. Higgins fell in the first round and fell to the Bengals because he wasn't popping off as an athlete. Odunze has that. He is a bona fide wide receiver #1. And if you have to go replace Stefon Diggs and Gabe Davis, you get yourself and you be aggressive and you go get a Rome Odunze. In the second round, this is a very popular name around Bills Nation. Xavier Legette still on the board in the second round. Could very easily go in the first. We've used him in a rebuild. Maybe unfairly, doesn't have a dev trait, but he's going to get put in a situation where he's likely our wide receiver too. Great opportunity to get yourself a dev trait, young man. In the fifth round, let's add a little power to the dash. That is James Cook. Audric Estime, who is one of the, didn't test the best, but you watch him at Notre Dame, absolute hoss. It can be what we need as a change of power to our backfield. Only 20 years old as well. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the best pick with Estime, so we only have 2 running backs on the roster. We're gonna grab Marshawn Lloyd out of USC, one of the more underrated running backs in the class. So looking at the draft recap, probably wasn't the best investment of our day 3 picks, getting 3 running backs, but 71, 70, and 70, that's not bad. We got a couple depths there in the secondary. Kalen King at one point was considered a first-round pick, even though I don't necessarily agree. Kind of whiffed on a tackle there in the 5th round. But the big 2 that we needed to hit are going to be hits. Xavier Legette, great value at the ass end of the second round. 73, yeah, no dev trait, but the profile, 6'3", 227, 93 speed, 91 acceleration, 84 catch, 85 catch in traffic, 87 spec, 87 agility, 89 change of direction on a big body like that. A great developmental option, and obviously if we can hit that dev sooner or later, he's going to be wide receiver too. So, great opportunity. He's probably going to be in the slot. But Rome Odunze, falling to where he did, couldn't have worked out any better for the Bills. 78 overall with a hidden dev. Sky is the limit. 94 speed, 95 acceleration, 85s in catching traffic, agility, 84 deep route running, 89 spec, 94 jumping, the jump ball ability, the tracking, the big game. He played every time watching a big game. He was the guy and stepped up. No ghost performances. He's our new wide receiver 1. He's going to be a stud for him and Josh Allen. And he's not going to bitch like Stefon Diggs every single game. Khalil Shakir, I mean, we do have Curtis Samuel, but Khalil Shakir probably is like the one guy on this wide receiver room that if they're going to develop, and I could see come year 5, 6, the rebuild, still on this team, it's probably Khalil Shakir. I think there's some upside. He was a stud at Boise State, so shout out Mac Hollins. Stepping up and taking him under his wing. That proven vet, Mac Hollins, known for his route running ability. As with the state of the roster, we'll take any bumps that we can get. We need Greg Rousseau. Again, after the very surprise late retirement of Von Miller, Rousseau needs to step up, and it's going to help every little bit. But +3 power and finesse is nice. Ooh, let's go, Odunze! First career touchdown as the Jags are getting their ass whooped. Who needs Stefon Diggs when you got Josh Allen and Odunze? Up next, Legette gets in for his first score. There we go. Another one, Odunze. Let's pull our starters. Job done. Did just come off an L here week 2 against the Lions. Lions tough. That's a tough opponent. But Ebenezer just signed a new 2-year contract. Has a chance to get off his normal dev. That would be huge. Again, in light of the shocking Von Miller retirement before the season started. Oh, hell yeah, dude. 28-10 win. Player of the week. Josh Allen, 4 touch. Hell yeah. I actually didn't. Bills are a team that I know are pretty good, but I don't have a lot of experience with the Madden Sim. So Josh Allen went off, but unfortunately, Ebenezer did not. All right, we got another breakout scenario after missing an Ebenezer, and it is the rookie, Rome Odunze. You better believe we came correct. Rome Odunze gets himself superstar dev, and honestly, with his stats, likely a front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year, could finish the year as an X Factor. Going to a bye, defeats Stefon Diggs and the Texans. Decent spot, man. We are 6-3, sitting atop the East. The Patriots are surprising. The Dolphins and Jets, who are expected to be very competitive, kind of sucking ass. We have a top 5 offense, number 1 passing offense, a top 10 rushing defense. Things are better than expected. I'm going to be honest with you. Say, looking at our contracts, I thought we'd have more money, but obviously lots of dead cap hits. We have the cap hit was pretty decent from releasing Tre'Davious White and the trade of Stefon Diggs. 66 is still plenty of salary cap, but it's also not an insane amount. We have Spencer Brown at right tackle. It's pretty expensive. Maybe we'll lock into 2. He seems like he's interested. I mean, fine stopgap type player. Rasul Douglas, another guy. 1-year deal. We got more than enough funds to keep Rasul Douglas here for another season. But we got to remember our corners are, Teron Johnson, Rasul Douglas. They're getting up there. Maybe for this upcoming draft, I'm leaning towards DB safety for our top pick. Hell yeah, brother. We go 12-5. That's better than expected. Honestly, we got Josh Allen. As long as you got Josh Allen, and then we got Odunze, we were aggressive in getting him. So you got Josh Allen, a bona fide wide receiver 1. Yeah, we lost Von Miller. Yeah, the defense. Yeah. It still worked. You still got Josh. You still got a cyborg. And our defense, look at that. Top 5. I mean, we can't say that. We're top 6 offense and top 6 defense. Almost top 5. Really, really happy with the way this team performed. An insane season from Josh Allen. Runner-up for the MVP. And he needs to do that. If you're going to be losing Diggs and Gabe Davis and all these other guys, he has to be the cyborg that steps up. And he did exactly that. Finishes 4th in yards, 6th in touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. So that's a big aspect of Josh Allen's game that you got to figure out. The turnovers. Sometimes he looks like he's Carson Wentz out there. Also, he got player of the week a bunch of times, and it was insane rushing yards. 572 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. A do-it-all weapon is Josh Allen. And the rookies did exactly what they need to do to step in and fill in the shoes of Gabe Davis and Stefon Diggs as Rome Odunze wins Rookie of the Year, Legette runner-up. When you look at the numbers, pretty damn good. 86 catches, almost 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns for Odunze. Legette in the slot. 76 catches, 960 and 14, 700 yards for Shakir, 700 for Dalton Kincaid. Pretty damn good. Defensively, Milano, Rapp, got a bunch of tackles. Pretty big year from Milano. Sacks, not brutal, honestly. The TFLs and sacks look really damn good for Rousseau. Honestly, he's on a star dev. That might bump him up to a superstar. 76 tackles, 24 TFLs, 9.5 sacks, 7.5 from Oliver. But you're seeing, man, we just could not replace what we lost in Von Miller. Regular season has kind of been easy mode for the Bills. It's the playoffs. They've had no playoff success. Let's see how far we can go this year, starting against a surprise playoff team in the 9-8 Patriots. It was closer than we like it, but we handled business 24-21. Man, Mac Jones still in New England in this scenario, crushing it. We had a Player of the Week performance from fan of the channel, Rasul Douglas, that propelled us to victory, setting up a gigantic. Of course, this is who we get matched up against. Of course, when you're in the AFC, you always find a way to get matched up against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, who beat out Josh Allen for the MVP award on a 4,600-yard, 39 touchdown, only 1 pick season. Video game-like numbers. Yes! Oh, suck it. Overtime win, 17-14. The matchup that changed football, overtime rules forever, goes to overtime, but this time, Josh Allen is the guy that comes out on top. I'm going to be honest with you. Didn't pick the Bills to do this. I just had a bunch of people saying, because I did the Houston Texans with Stefon Diggs, you got to do the Bills. Bills, what is going on? They need a rebuild. I did not pick the Bills thinking year 1 we would go in the Super Bowl. We'll let it roll. If we make the Super Bowl, we win a Super Bowl year 1, so be it. We got 9 more years. For fuck's sake. The Raiders beat us? What happened here? Kirk Cousins is on the Raiders. Josh Allen choked. It's a fake Raiders team, man. Fake news Raiders team. Oh, goddamn. Shout out the Raiders. Kirk Cousins, Josh Jacobs, Jadeveon Clowney getting a Super Bowl done in 2024. And it worked out well for us. Odunze didn't get the double dev trade increase, but he's up to a superstar. Legette up to a star, but most importantly, the man that touches the football on every play, Josh Allen, up to a superstar X Factor. Just or not, AJ Epineza goes from normal to a star, and we get a nice dev trade here for Rousseau from a star to a superstar on a very big-time season. Bunch of TFLs, bunch of sacks, well-deserved. All right, so I'm actually not going to pick up the 5th-year option of Kaiir Elam. We're going to let it rock and roll. I still have interest in bringing him back, but yeah, $17 million, way too much. All right, so our first round pick in 2025, the downside of us being really good in year one is that for our lovely realistic 2025 class, we're picking up the ass end of it. So all the top targets I wanted are gone. We have either Burke at pass rush, that looks good. Ebenezer and Rousseau are for contract extension. I think we're going to try and bring them all back, but Burke would give us, we'll go Rousseau and let Ebenezer walk. Or I'm looking here, D-tackle. This is where the mock draft had us going. Zane Durant, freak out of Penn State. Where have you heard that before? You pay attention to the draft, you pay attention to the combine and pro days. Penn State just always has insane athletes. Zane Durant, obviously a little undersized, more similar to Ed Oliver than not, but we do need a D-tackle too to start. B-tackle, B-finesse move, elite speed, jumping, agility, acceleration. Why not? Let's have a little fun with a freak athlete, I suppose. Oh, no. So we got the Stefon Diggs trade pick. And look who went just right. It's not a sexy pick, but looking at who's available, Logan Jones, the top interior lineman available. We have our starting center, McGovern, is in a contract year. Our starting guard, in Lael Collins, is in a contract year. Probably not bringing either one of those guys back. So going with the best interior lineman, who's a freak, who rolls with a dev trait, 82 acceleration, 75 speed, 79 agility, 89 strength. Welcome to Buffalo. To close the second round, TJ Parker looks like the best value pick on the board right now. He's 20 years old, 6'3", 255, A power, A tackle, good speed, great acceleration. A play rec. Would like to know maybe the pursuit a little bit. The C finesse move's not bad, not a complete player. But a developmental, cheap, I just feel like we're not going to be able to pay both edge rushers. So getting an edge rusher here, I wanted Ethan Burke, but luckily still at the ass end of the second round, it will get a hidden dev guy with a lot of upside. So take a look at our draft haul, only one player, and it's Henderson, which is probably the dumbest pick. I'm not going to lie, I was chasing a dev trait there because we got 3 running backs last draft. That was stupid. That was bad call, especially we have somewhat limited picks. We got Haz, 71 tight end in the 6th round. Tez Johnson, very surprised he was still on the board. Speedster out of Oregon, 93 speed, 94 acceleration, 71 normal dev in the 6th round. Parker, 73 hidden dev. Jones, 76, the belle of our draft class. Hell yeah. Likely going to be a day one starter. And then Zane Durant, a little bit more of a developmental route. Big time athlete, but only a base rating of a 71. So we got a ways to go, but hopefully Ed Oliver can take him under his wing and get him caught up to speed. Because I also think he's going to be a day one starter. Gotta give credit where credit's due. Shout out Curtis Samuel. Did not think him to be a guy that gained a mentorship tag, but he wants to take Xavier Legette, who we need to have another big time year. Led the team in touchdowns a year ago and getting a little bit of a buff because Curtis Samuel's a dog. I appreciate that. We have a little surplus on our squad. McGovern in a contract year. We're able to get a 5th round pick back from the Seahawks. That's not bad for a backup center. And we're going to send Ebenezer to the Broncos for Mapu, safety linebacker hybrid. I'm more interested in him as a linebacker, potentially a cheap option with Terrell Bernard, set to go to a contract year. Matt Milano's not getting any younger. Welcome to the squad. So it was a very quick look at our roster, just because there's been a little bit of turnover here on the offense. Get a new starting center in Jones. We have Odunze, Shakir, and Legette will be our main starting players. I definitely want to see a continued development of Dalton Kincaid in the offense because our offense was pretty potent last year, but I think we may get a little bit more towards the tight end. On the defense, though, is where there is lots of shuffling. We have 2 new starters on the D-line as we got Zane Durant at D-tackle and T.J. Parker takes over for A.J. Epineza. Big shoes to fill for the 20-year-old. We got Mapu we just traded for. We moved him. He was a 77 safety down to a 74 linebacker. There is a little bit of a ratings hit, but we'll get him involved. But the big change for us comes in the secondary. We have Teron Johnson, one of the best nickels. Rasul Douglas on the outside. We're going to make way for Kaiir Elam to play on the outside in a contract year. I got a gut feeling we can re-sign him long-term and it won't be that expensive. And we took Benford, actually got a ratings buff. Went from an 80 corner to an 82 safety. So maybe a little bit of tidbit there if you end up doing a Bills franchise. I obviously know that he beat out Kaiir Elam. That was like the big story. Elam was the top pick. He was kind of coming out of nowhere and beat him up for the starting job. But the reality is, better safety than he is a corner. So that could be just a way to maximize your value a little bit because Elam does have the dev trait. The Bills are off to another hot start here in year 2, 6-2, sitting atop the AFC East, which is pretty dang good. And our offense firing all cylinders. Defense pretty solid inside of our pass defense. which I don't know why it's sucking. We got a lot of money, $112 million. So we could keep pretty much any and everybody that we want. I like Benford. That's a great success story. Honestly, let's give him a 5-year deal. That's very affordable. Every year under 10 million. He needs a little more. He probably wants over 10. We got Terrell Bernard, another success story in the middle of this defense. We'll give him a contract. I do think the Mapu trade is more about Matt Milano. I think Milano is already starting to face some regression. Great player, obviously, but he's kind of at that threshold where the next contract could be tough to hand out. Elam, you know, again, another guy that we're going to gamble that we can get his best football ahead of his career. 5 years. That's very affordable for an 80-star dev corner. We'll take that every day of the week. Let's just rip this Band-Aid off. We got Greg Rousseau. Played very well in the sim last year. Even though the sacks were an S tier, the sacks were A tier, and the TFLs were S tier. So he is doing it all. James Cook is a lot more affordable than I thought he was going to be. I thought this was going to be closer to that $8-9 million cap hit. We've been kind of planning for life beyond him. We'll keep him at that price point. Rasul Douglas, fan of the channel, look for a 1-year deal. I'll bite on that. We don't really have the corner depth to move on from him. Plus, fan of the channel. So we'll give him a 1-year, $10 million. We'll come back. We'll give Benford a little bit more money. Khalil Shakir, good role player, but is a good role player worth $5, $6, $7 million a year? Or do we just get that third wide receiver to be a cheap, affordable guy? That is the question. And I think that's what we need to do. And we close out year 2 the same way we closed out year 1. AFC East champs. Got a weird matchup, though. We beat the Dolphins week 18. We beat them bad, 42-24. Josh Allen, 5-touchdown performance. And we have a very quick turnaround. We play them again in the wildcard round. We swept them in the regular season. So we're 2-0. But, you know, I guess trying to beat a team 3 times is harder than trying to beat them 2 times, but our team is outstanding. Top 5 offense, a top 5 defense. All those defensive ranks got in shape. I'm sure we got a classic Sean McDermott, Al-Qaeda type speech to motivate all these players. I'm happy. We had a lot of bridesmaids, no brides this year. Josh Allen, runner-up, offensive player of the year. Greg Rousseau, runner-up, defensive player of the year. Which, you know, would have been nice. We do get Defensive Rookie of the Year in Zane Durant. We'll look at his stats in a sec. Josh Allen, runner-up for Quarterback of the Year. Rome Odunze, just in that top 5 mix for Wide Receiver of the Year. Greg Rousseau, runner-up for just, you know, we're missing on these dev tapes. Sharon Johnson, corner, runner-up. Just one of those years where things didn't go our way for whatever reason. I mean, shout out Zane Durant. That could be a dev trade. That could be a superstar for him. Oh, we actually got the NFL MVP, baby. Josh Allen, let's go. I mean, looking at the stats, 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions, and on the ground, 10 rushing touchdowns. It was ridiculous. Every time Josh Allen got a player of the week, there was 1 or 2 rushing touchdowns to go along with it. And, like, this is what Madden should be. I get playbooks, yada, 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 clearly the Bills playbook. But, like, a Madden playbook where, like, a player sims to how they play in real life. There's not a better feeling. Shout out James Cook, 1,008, given how much, you know, everyone else kind of ate. Not a bad year, happy with the contract. Rome Odunze, 91 catches, 1,400 yards, 7 tuds, 11-6 for Legette. Shakir, 850-7, 6-7 for Kincaid. Happy with all those numbers across the board. Defensively, Milano was a tackle machine. Greg Rousseau living up to the contract extension, 16 TFLs, 16 sacks. The Rookie of the Year, Zane Durant, getting after it in the run game. Honestly, outshining Ed Oliver, the superstar D tackle. 20 TFLs, 6.5 for Durant. I'm happy with all those numbers. Absolutely. I mean, if Ed Oliver can get a little more, like we can get closer to 10 for Ed Oliver and everyone else stays the same, pretty happy with it. Teron Johnson, runner-up DB of the year, 5 picks. We got these guys playing right now. We go on a run. I think we might have a chance to surprise people, go win the Super Bowl this year. We handled business in the first round. Wasn't even close. 28-7, a three-peat sweep. We even got our backup quarterback throwing trick plays. Sets up a big-time matchup here into the divisional round. We beat the Ravens in the regular season, but Lamar is a different beast in the playoffs. And this is the kind of matchup Buffalo's just struggled to get over the hump against a legitimate AFC Super Bowl contender. The Bills are always, for whatever reason, on the losing end, but maybe not now that Josh Allen's MVP. Fuck. Gotta figure it out, man. What does this... What are we... Like... The cyborg that just doesn't show up when we need him to show up. Can't be the MVP. Season on the line, 141 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Didn't even run. You got 2 rushing touchdowns. You got 2 goal line rushing touchdowns. You vultured them away. Fuck's sakes, Josh. Figure it out. Get your head out of your ass. And surprise, surprise, look who the Super Bowl champs are. I'll say this. If this was a 5-year rebuild, we'd be going all in on Micah Parsons, but we need to be conscientious. We still got 8 more seasons to go. The only position I think we could even entertain spending in free agency is at guard, because we let La'el Collins walk. However, there's not really a replacement level guard there, really at any of the guard spots, any of the interior spots. So we're going to have to pivot towards the draft. We're going to look probably within the first 3 rounds to try to get one of them juicy hidden dev guards. This is a very stacked draft class. It gets real good in the second round, but we're here at the first round, and this is the best pass blocking tackle I've seen in a minute. But you're going to see a dilemma that I have here. I have not seen, in my memory, a pure across-the-board pass blocking tackle. A pass block finesse, A pass block power. The run block is horrendous. The awareness is fine. The physicals are not that great. Look at the bench press, 26. But all A's in pass block for a left tackle. I'm ready to be hurt. My gut says 75, 76. I think the base rating is going to be very high. But anytime you're dealing with the business of no athletes, I'd love to just show a highlight of, like, this is the guy that we want, right? But there's also what looks to be a can't miss corner, a couple of them. But look at Larry Dyson, 6 foot. We need to get younger at corner, man. We only got Rasul Douglas on a 1 year. A-man, B-press, B-zone, 6'4", 205, ran a 4.47. Real good 20. It's tough. But that guy's probably going to be available. Don't know what to do. You know what? When in doubt, go with the things you don't usually see. And I usually don't see a complete tackle. I'm going to go against my better judgment on the Hey, we rolled the dev trade. 80 strength, not the best. I think the rating's going to be very good. I was never concerned about the rating. It was about the dev trade. We got the dev trade. I think we got a great tackle successor for Deion Dawkins. And or we could play him at guard this year and then move him back to tackle. Got a lot of versatility there. I'm not going to lie, I had to trade up in the second round to get that corner, and I just literally gave enough to get the pick from the Colts. I gave them our 5th, 6th, and 7th round pick this year, our 2nd next year. I want to keep our other 2nd this year because I think that's where the money's at in this year's draft. I give Estemy an RB2, 75 on the right side of 25. Same with Kalen King, 75, who's going to be surplus when we go draft this corner. And that was enough to get the Colts to dance with us. But again, it's all about dev traits. Much like the tackle, I think this base rating is going to be good. I've seen plenty of corners that are built like this that are like 76, 77, but they're normal dev. Larry Dyson hopefully breaks. I'd rather I wasn't sure with both of our first picks here. I would much rather the tackle have the dev trait than it is the corner. But damn, we gave up a lot. All right, we're going to look at a safety here. Taylor Rapp's not getting any younger. We did move Benford to free safety, but strong safety, not a clear-cut option. We got Daniel Jones, not that Daniel Jones, but A hit power, A tackle, C zone, C man, physical. Not the bad, not the brutal. The 3-cone and the 20-yard shuttle are pretty much in line with what you want. Maybe a little faster. Like I don't think there's going to be a dev trade here, but I think it's going to be a solid rating and just give us a little bit of cover behind Taylor Rapp. Ooh, I'll take the dev, sneaky dev. All right, we need that third wide receiver after letting Khalil Shakir walk. And we're blind picking. Did not scout the wide receivers. But when you are blind picking, when you find one that's, these are almost always hits. 4.2, when you're the fastest freaking guy, elite acceleration, agility, change of direction, speed, you don't even need scouting, honestly. And there's a couple of these. I might grab a couple wide receivers we don't have a lot of day 3 picks. But there's a couple guys who ran 4.2. But this is the fastest. Why not? These freak athletes, when you can find them, they're, not bad for a wide receiver 3. Here's another one. Frank, he's UDFA. C-release, A deep. I don't know how I have more information on him or not, but if Oregon State 6'1", ran a 4.25. Yeah, I'll stash these guys. I'll get these guys for 4 or 5 affordable years. That's not a sexy pick, but literally we need a punter. And, we got our A awareness, A kick accuracy. Doesn't have a big leg, but, 6'5". That's old school Madden C4 logic. Let's just go with the tall punters. Tall punters seem to be good. Let's go. That's shocking. He did not have, excellent kick. When you want to look at the ratings, you see their kick power. You want to see A accuracy with elite kick power. 87 is not, that accuracy better be good for him to be. Interesting. Let's finish this draft up here. Get a look at our draft recap. I feel pretty good about it, man. Bummed out that our corner wasn't a hidden dev, but we look at the rating. The rating. Oh, what? Yeah. He walks in the league as the #2 punter in the NFL. Shout out Brian Moorman. Remember Brian Moorman? Used to be like a 90-speed punter for the Bills. Bills cared about punters. We got Weiss, 72. Newton, hidden dev, only a 70. Surprised. The UDFA projected has a better base rate, but we do have the dev trait there. Jones, 74 with a dev trait. Dyson did not have a dev, but if you're not going to have a dev, you sure as shit, I will not complain about being 79 and getting you in the second round. It's now a question of we got to get this guy on the field. A second round pick. Obviously, height, weight, speed aside. 82 man, 77 zone, 90 agility at that size. 75, that's insane. And then we got Peterson here, 75. Little worried because he was all in on pass pro. His run defense was garbage, but I thought the rating was always going to be in this ballpark. 73, 77, kind of a floor ceiling scenario. We're worried about the dev. We got the dev role, and I'm probably going to put him at left guard just for this year, and ideally long-term he is that Deion Dawkins successor. And we can look around the division, but no one's topping my draft. That's one of my all-time drafts, at least if you're just going off of base ratings. The Dolphins were fine. The Patriots, not bad. Honestly, I'll give them credit. 75 outside linebacker, that's an edge rusher. 76 edge rusher, and a 76 wide receiver. Patriots, they did pretty well there. Better than the Dolphins. What do the Jets do? Where are they at? Alphabetical. Let's learn our ABCs here. The Jets, not bad. 75 edge. 72. They got their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, just retired, so they got themselves a nice hidden dev QB in the second round. Jesus Christ. White lightning over here. Not a bad draft, though, but we're taking the crown. 85 punter, people. Love seeing the young gun, TJ Parker, get himself the training camp breakout. We're going to get him a nice little bump to his power and finesse move. Dominance continues for the Bills in the AFC East, 9-2 at about the midway point with the #2 offense in the NFL and just outside a top 10 defense. So for our free agents, we got a couple tough decisions. First, we have O'Cyrus Torrence. He's the guy that I think we should easily keep of the bunch. We're going to get him locked in till he's 30. However, the last draft we had made things pretty interesting. We drafted a new safety so we can let Taylor Rapp walk. I think because Matt Milano's interested, I think we can give him a 2-year. We can make sure he retires as a Buffalo Bill. Rasul Douglas, we just drafted a big-time corner, so I do think between Teron Johnson and Rasul, we don't need both of them. But honestly, for their contracts, because obviously Kyler Elam could step up. Larry Dyson should be a starter. We only need one. And, Rasul has no interest whatsoever. Teron, slightly more. I think Johnson makes the most sense if he will come back and run it back just because he's a nickel. Rasul's on the outside, so we can get Johnson back on a short term. He plays in the nickel. Dyson and Kyrie Elam on the outside. I know he's a fan of the channel. Sorry, Rasul. But we got to do what's best for the team. We've just drafted a replacement for Deion Dawkins. $20 million for 1 year. Pretty expensive. Spencer Brown on the other side is looking for an insane amount of money. For an 81 that's pretty much at his ceiling. He's looking for almost $20 million a year as well. Tackle market is absolutely absurd. Not paying it. I think we just save the rest of our money. Mapu, if there was some interest there, I wouldn't have to overpay. Sure. Maybe we can get him. Yeah, there we go. All right. That's good business. Over a legitimate playoff contender, we kicked the crap out of the Bengals 42-24. And Josh Allen's a cheat code, man. 6 touchdown performance. Good God. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. And 6. Pull him in the first half. Give him his back-to-back MVP. And as far as regular season is concerned, we're 3 years in and we've dominated the division. 13-4, our 3rd straight divisional title. Our offense, number 2. Our defense, just outside the top 5. We got Logan Jones winning lineman of the year. That could be a superstar. We got the rookie Bruce Newton, our speedster, winning offensive rookie of the year. And the kid had a hell of a season. Legette was in the slot. Newton somehow, some way. Deep threat. Superstar dev. Deep threat. Came in the league with 99 speed and enters his first playoff run as one of the best young deep threats the league has ever seen. You can't leave out the big dog, the regular season alien. Hasn't showed up in the postseason yet, but back-to-back league MVPs for Josh Allen. He put up insane numbers, man. 4,700 yards passing, 39 touchdowns to 5 picks. He's second in yards and touchdowns passing to Patrick Mahomes. But where we kind of separate a little bit is the rushing. He adds in another 500 yards rushing, 9 touchdowns. We just need a little bit of that. A little bit of that regular season magic in the postseason, and we can win it all. And in the first round of the play, I mean, he's not showing up. First round of the playoffs, no touchdowns. No pick. I mean, a win's a win, I guess, but that's not MVP. In the divisional round against the Broncos, better. Defense showed up. Offense did their job, I guess. If we had to kind of, oh my God, Ebenezer gets, I mean, it almost looks like we've got outplayed both games, but somehow we're in the AFC Championship. And with the Super Bowl on the line against who else? We got Mahomes, 4,800 yards, 47 touchdowns, 6 picks, number 1 offense against the number 2 offense. However, we bring almost a top 5 defense. The Chiefs defense, not particularly good, which is unusual under Spags. Maybe this is the year. We finally put it all together. I think we watch this one. Someone needs to end the Chiefs' reign in the AFC. And if it's not a back-to-back MVP-led Bills team with Josh freaking Allen under center, I don't know what is. But look, a long-ass opening drive, settle for a field goal. But we're off to a decent start. We get a touchdown, they get a touchdown, and the Chiefs finish with all the momentum here in the first half. Oh my God, they get the fucking what? How did that time? There's 10 seconds left, and they just, more points. We're coming in here, man. I'm sick of this shit. How is it always the Chiefs? How are they so freaking good? We're not settling for a field goal. We are not doing that. That's how you lose. That's how you constantly underperform. We're going to go for it. We got a 2-time MVP that's ready to run some motherfuckers over. Let's go. Finish this off. Touchdown. 4th quarter. That's how we do it. That's all you need to see, man. Even if we finally get a break and it's just like, nah, we'll settle for the field goal. I'm about to say this team's cursed, but we're going to go throw this football over this mountains because I'm sick and tired of the Madden sim. That's where we're at. I'm going to go. We got Newton and Odunze. And we're going to go win this on a Hail Mary. As long as my O-line picks this up, we're going to be able to find someone down there. Oh, no, we're not. Fucking joke, man. The Bills. What a joke of a team. An absolute joke of a team. Chokes every year. Oh, look who went on to win the Super Bowl again. I'm one more year away from just selling on Josh Allen. Give up on him. Get an insane haul from whatever team's desperate. Because he has one more chance to go win a Super Bowl. If he can't win a Super Bowl with this team, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we got Peterson, our first round pick tackle, is superstar. So he's going to be a left tackle. There's our successor to Dawkins. Jones won lineman of the year. Up to a superstar. Odunze X Factor. Newton, superstar. Right? Defensively, we're coming together. Still pretty strong. No real weakness. Complete defense. We got the best punter in the league. Okay? What more do we need? to stop underperform. I don't know. I literally have no idea. I have no idea what to do. The only thing I think of is just blow it up and retry with something else. Back-to-back years, top player in free agency is an edge rusher. Micah Parsons last year, Aiden Hutchinson this year. For our team, though, we needed a tackle and or a guard, as both our right tackle and right guard spot have opened up. However, no bargains as of yet. Those happen a little bit later on in the rebuilds. So I think that's just going to be a spot we look towards the draft. I mean, you got Nabu here, 22.73, but I think we could probably take a good swing at a hidden dev player in the draft. I will say, before we even kick things off, a little bit of a bizarre draft when a middle linebacker is projected to be the top player. So we got to sit and wait till pick 30. Didn't really want to give up a whole lot of assets to trade up. We need tackle. That has to be the big spot. And we go, ooh, we got some options. Duncan Baker, 3 A's and a B. We have at right tackle, Booth, Terrell look pretty good. You can't always go letter grades. Sometimes you can. I like the elite strength of Booth. Terrell, what do you got? Any standout traits? Look, see, the last tackle stood out that we drafted. Superstar hit because he had all A's in terms of pass block. Like, you're just seeing how rare it is now because we're getting legit first rounders that don't even have anything that looks comparable to that. But now Baker has the letters. A run block, has elite speed, change of direction, and there you go. That's our pick right there. Beautiful. Oh, no dev. Oh. All right, we didn't have a pick until here, and you know what? We're trying to find just the best lineman available. Weeks has decent letter grades, elites, another elite athlete type player. No dev. Likely he's going to kick inside the guard as well. Gonna be honest, this draft didn't pass the vibe. That's why I wanted to trade up last year, because last year's draft felt outstanding. This year's draft, look at this, dude. That's honestly one of my worst drafts ever. No devs. 72 tackle. That's kind of run-of-the-mill. That's not bad. He'll play at right tackle. But we didn't find a guard whatsoever. And I think there's a very good shot that we have the worst draft of the division. Look at that. Dolphins killed it. Killed it. Outstanding draft. The Jets killed it. 75, 74, 73, and a 72 wide receiver late. Hell, come on, the Patriots always suck at draft. The Patriots killed it. 75, 75, 74. Oh, my God. That's not how you respond. When me throwing this little rage fit, do we need to blow this team up? Why can't we win? You follow it up with maybe definitely the worst draft we've had out of any of the years of the 10-year rebuild. So that's 23 seasons we've done. Easily the worst draft we just had with, a decent tackle, but there's no dev trait. Fuck. And ahead of, we're gonna sim this one, just see live react, see where we're at. 7-0 Chiefs, 7-1 Bills. Bills sitting atop the AFC East. Josh Allen has got nuclear mode. Shout out Terrell Bernard, but Allen has got multiple player of the week performances. It's really coming down to really him and Patrick Mahomes. It's as much as it's frustrating to be blow it all up. Josh Allen is also the reason why we've been so good. And it's just, someone has to be second fiddle, I suppose. The goddamn Patrick Mahomes. And that somebody has just kind of been Josh Allen, at least as far as the playoffs are concerned. Beat him in the regular season, though. Suck it. We've luckily been kind of stingy as it comes to our own free agents, so we have plenty of money, $86 million, to do as we see fit. And Oliver's been solid. I don't know if he's been that solid for that expense over the next 2 years, but I think he's been solid enough to be why not? We have the money. If those budgets were tight, maybe we look elsewhere. Dalton Kincaid's been very reliable. I wouldn't want to go much higher than that. If he declines that offer, might let him walk, but he's happy to be here. And Xavier Legette has also been really solid. Almost 1,000 yards. This offense has facilitated 3 wide receivers. And yeah, even though we got the young Buck Newton last year, superstar speedster, I do like to keep that initial duo of Legette and Rome Odunze for as long as we possibly can. Year 4 ends with our 4th straight AFC East championship, 12-5. But man, we have not got a first-round bye. I guarantee it. Is it the Chiefs? It feels like it's obviously I think the Chiefs won't beat us. We've been second fiddle to them, not only the playoffs, but for the 1 seed in the AFC every year. It's so annoying. Oh, it's so freaking. I know how. Obviously, as an Eagle fan, when I make content, I feel like that for the Cowboys because they're always like that in the NFC. I feel like if you're a fan of any team in the AFC and you play Madden franchise, your hatred for the Chiefs has got to be immense. No MVP for Allen this year, coming 3. Mahomes and Lawrence both had ridiculous seasons. We actually didn't really pop off. No one won an award. Maybe that's what we need. We've had individual success, and it's collapsed in playoffs. Maybe this year that no one won anything, it might get everyone in gear here for a playoff run. 38 touchdowns, 2 picks for Allen. Another great season. Rushing touchdowns are down a little bit. On the receiving end, Odunze continues to be immense. Everything we needed a Stefon Diggs successor to be. 100 catches, 13 and 12. 12 and 9 for Legette, 7 and 4 for Newton. Kincaid, 8 touchdowns, almost 500 yards, not bad. Bernard was a tackle machine. We got 16.5 sacks for Russo, 8 from Durant, 7.5 Oliver, 4.5 from Parker, 4 picks Johnson, 3 from Elam. Pretty good numbers, really good sack numbers. It's been very difficult for our first 2 10-year rebuilds that we've done with the Bears. Sorry, this is the Bills, but we've done the Bears. We've done the Texans. Sacks have been few. Like, we just had Will Anderson. He was supposed to go off. Didn't really. So it is nice having at least someone be a premier pass rusher in Greg Rousseau. We did not have an easy draw in the first round. We have Trevor Lawrence, who actually finished ahead of Josh Allen in the MVP voting. But Josh Allen played like regular season Josh Allen, and we need this 3 more times. We got the Raiders up next, who, if you remember, won Super Bowl in year 1 of this rebuild, shockingly. They're pretty, I mean, this is an evenly matched team. Raiders 8th offense, 4th defense. We're 11th offense, number 1 defense. We average under 20 allowed a game, which is outstanding. Oh, yeah, of course. But we handled business against the Raiders, 27-21. And it wasn't so much Josh Allen as it was our defense forcing 3 interceptions on Riley Leonard. Shout out Terrell Bernard, Mapu, and Teron Johnson. Now, there's no way this happens again, right? Yeah, sure. 42 touchdowns, 1 pick. We can't lose to him again. Like, one of these years it's going to come in our favor, right? Fuck! Why can't we have nice things? At least those assholes lost. Congrats to the Falcons. It's going to be another free agent period that we just chill. I need a guard and a corner. That is all I need to complete my roster. A lot of veterans, not a lot of what I'm looking for. Corner, I did think Mike Sandstrel here, but at 26, that's what I also focus scouted, is the corners in this year's draft. So I feel like I'm going to be able to get a corner. And again, guards, it was just a bad role last year. I'm confident we can find ourselves a starting guard this year as well. All right, we got a tough call here, and I don't know how tough call it is. We need either a guard or a corner. Looking at the corners, we do have a first-round scouted corner, Ty Cleveland, 6'4", double B, double C, so not the best letter grades, but a pretty nice athlete at 6'4", and we know what we're getting. But there's also, 3 or 4 other corners that if we had to draft them, if they fall to us in the second round, we're going to live with it. The fact that we got a center that is 4As, that's also built enough to go and play guard, this got to be the guy. It's got to be the guy. At the outside of the second round, we do got a guy that looks like a pretty decent corner, Harvey Maben, A catching, B man, B zone. We are a zone defense. Combine looks pretty good. 3rd fastest 40-yard dash. 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle. Good at his pro day. Please be a good rate. I mean, he could be 74, 75. I will say, back-to-back years, day 3 has been terrible. There's not even me walking through the picks. Just sim out. Wasn't one player that had some nice letter grades. Wasn't one player that was an elite athlete between round 4 and 5. So that's kind of where we're at, unfortunately. But the first 2 picks are what we needed. Clay Kirkpatrick's going to kick inside the guard, 77 with a hidden dev. And we got Maven, 74 normal, but again, you put that into real-life context for real players going into Madden. A second-round pick getting a 74, that's a steal. Look at the rest of the teams in the division. See if we caught up a little bit. Dolphins, not a bad draft, not a good draft. I mean, I'd like to think we're competitive with the Dolphins. Looking at the Jets, not bad. Some pretty good quality. What about the old Patriots? Had a hell of a draft. 75 tackles, 77 corners, 75 middle linebacker, and a 73 corner. All right, we'll give the draft winners to the Patriots this year. Another great spot to be at midway point, year 5. 5-1. Patriots this time are taking their swing. They got Tua, poached him away from the Miami Dolphins to be the new franchise quarterback to succeed Mac Jones. They just love the Alabama quarterback there in New England, and it looks like they're putting it together here a little bit this season. However, the Bills are on fire yet again. We got $108 million, which looks great. But what doesn't look great are 4 players that have to get paid. And, I mean, we got to start with Josh Allen. I mean, we might as well get him to he's 35. He's been insane. as much as we've had frustration in the postseason, he's been as good as any other quarterback we've had in a minute. We got a superstar dev center. Those are always guys that you don't want to, he's won lineman of the year. He's our Jason Kelsey, if you will. We got Rome Odunze, who has to get paid. And you really want him locked up for the rest of his career. You want him to finish. I mean, he's the big seal the deal type player. And then Parker's very much fallen in that role, and we've seen it in other 10-year rebuilds. We're going to be conscientious of our salary cap. This was a 5-year rebuild. We'd pay him money and not worry about it, but you got to produce. You can't fall in love with a player's age overall, dev trait. He's 23, though. That's like one of those things where his ceiling is immensely high. If he's already 80, he's going to be a 90 before he's 25. And then you got to gamble. Is his best football going to be ahead of him? But there's just no way we can afford it. And unfortunately, the production so far, he's just paled in comparison to Greg Rousseau. 16-1. Fourth offense, best defense. Who the hell was the one? The Jets beat us in overtime week 2. So our one loss was a 3-point OT loss. We'll ignore the fact that Josh Allen got robbed for MVP. This team has to do it this year. We did get an award winner. Harvey Maben, our corner, gets Defensive Rookie of the Year and on a normal dev. We'll take that. That should be a free star dev trade increase. Josh Allen was elite, 4,600 yards, 41 touchdowns, only 3 picks. Rushing numbers down a little bit. Maybe that's what's going to regress as he gets older. Nice year to James Cook. Legette breaks out in the slot. Goddamn, finally. I mean, that might be superstar for the kid. 13-11, Odunze. Newton was solid. Kincaid was also solid. The defense was elite. And oh, no. We're so crushed. But Parker, 23 years old, finally has a career year. 75 tackles, 11 TFLs, 15 sacks. Durant and Ed Oliver got after it. I just don't know. Maybe we'll get a bunch of money right before the offseason to throw something at him, but I don't know if we can make it work. In the first round, we got the Cincinnati Bengals, who do have a top 5 offense, so they could, I guess, technically beat us. And we handle business against the Bengals. Good showing from Josh Allen. But, who else, right? Who else but the fucking Chiefs? Get me back up here. This is the year. If not now, when? Right? Let's upgrade our... There was a time we played the Chiefs. We beat them in the right... They were 0-3. So they started 0-3. And then went 12-2 to close. So they got... That's why. Hot opponent. I believe it. Come on, man. Give me one. 28-24. Josh Allen clearly had a strong game. Odunze, 11 catches, a $127, and a tud. And it took us 5 seasons. 5 seasons, 5 straight AFC East championships. Every year we've gone on playoff runs, have yet to be one and done. It's always been the Chiefs. And finally, after 5 years, we get them once. I'm not going to be greedy. It's the Chiefs. We know what they are. We played Madden. Everyone's played Madden. Everyone that's watched this knows what the Chiefs are. Just let me get 1 or 2 here or there. And with the win, we are into the Super Bowl against Jalen Hurts and the below 500 Philadelphia Eagles, who still have a respectable offense, one of the better offenses in the NFL. But a team that is below 500 in the Super Bowl against a team that is an overtime loss away from being perfect. Come on. But I'm going to be honest with you, this is setting itself up to be just, of course, like this is the death sentence, this team, the Jim Kelly curse, whatever you want to call it, that a below 500 team could stop the greatest Bills team, one of the best teams that has ever existed in football. But we're playing all right in the first half. Got a lead. Here we go, 21-10. I will say we are scoring quickly, and when Philly gets, let's come in, let's get us. It does feel like we don't need me to control this, and we'll handle it. But on a historic season, for a chance to get the first Super Bowl in Bills history, let's at least get a little touchdown here. Maybe we go to Odunze. Maybe we scramble with Josh Allen. Maybe we scramble with Josh Allen because he's a freak alien athlete extraordinaire. Get him on the board. That should be dagger as they go up 28-20. We're just killing the drive off. Beautiful. I mean, we're letting the Eagles stay in because, you know, we just got to flirt with the idea that we could still fall on our ass and choke and lose. But after years of choking, 16-1 becomes 19-1. Shout out to the Jets, I guess. They can hang their hat on that. Like, you know, they're the team that stopped perfection. But something we've only seen the Arizona Cardinals do in our main channel franchise, which I'm going to get to that next week. I just really want to do this Bills rebuild after I did the Texans rebuild, and everyone was saying, also, Stefon Diggs, you got to do the Bills. This was next up, and these rebuilds take 2 days to record. Yada, yada, yada. We'll get back to the Cardinals next week. Let's celebrate this one. First Super Bowl in Bills history. Josh Allen, an alien, multiple-time MVP, has carried this team. Deserve it, man. Soak it in. I can bet he's already probably the MVP of the Super Bowl here. It sucks beating my beloved Eagles, but sometimes... Ooh, actually, yeah, let's do a little bit of a... I wouldn't say Josh Allen got a lock here for MVP. Who gets Super Bowl MVP? I mean, that's not a bad showing. James Cook had... It might be James Cook. 3 touchdowns. It's going to be pretty tough to beat. Yeah, there you go. I'd give it to him. MVP. James Cook. Hell yeah. And going out on top, shout out Matt Milano. Congrats. And maybe with that extra money that we got from him, we can throw it off for TJ Parker's way. All from our Super Bowl win, Legette is up to a superstar dev. It's taken a minute for him to peak at 28, but better now than never. Our first round pick, Kirkpatrick, just, you know, it was a casual 4A draft pick, easy layup. Oh, we also got rewarded with a superstar dev. On the defensive side of the ball, while we definitely have to go out and replace Matt Milano, who we lost at linebacker, we do have Mapu, so we can run nickel. We still got 2 linebackers. TJ Parker up to a superstar dev off his star. We got to find a way to pay him, man. This is our best shot, our best offer. He doesn't take it. It's just the nature of the business. This is the closest we've flown to the sun that is spending all of our money. The one thing I prioritize through 2 10-year rebuilds so far is even, you know, this is not the first hard decision we've had to make, but I've always gone with the side of, like, we got to protect the salary cap. We can't get ourselves in a salary cap hell, especially, we're only 5 years, and we're halfway at the midway point. If we sign him, how tight is the budget going to be for the next 2-3 years? Maybe extremely tight. However, a 90 superstar, 24-year-old pass rusher is worth at least offering a gigantic offer. 6-year, 174. Offer him 5-year? Couldn't go 6, had to go 5. I have 28 mil remaining, so I can't even franchise tag. I mean, I could, but we'd have to. It's just not going to be. So we are going to try and get an edge. Trey Moore, 6'3", 242. He's a linebacker, but he's very much a pass rusher. He's only looking for about 6 mil a year, which is obviously a gigantic difference versus the 25 that TJ Parker was looking for. So there you go. But I want to see who got Parker. And there's some big name pass rushers out here. And he went in the division to the Dolphins. Okay. We got to talk about this pick here. We got to be a good pick because we couldn't really spend crazy in free agency, which leads me to believe we're not going to have a lot of money next year. And next year we got a bunch of free agents. Both D tackles, Ed Oliver, Zane Durant, free agents. James Cook, running back, free agent. I think we'll probably go running back a little bit later on. But there's a lot coming up here. And I think D tackle is the big position. And we got 2 D tackles that look all right. Peterson has the A power move. He also has B play rec, which, you know, it goes into the rating a little bit. The physicals are pretty solid. Elite speed, great jumping, great change of direction, great agility. You have Caldwell, who has the better letter grades. Also pretty good combine. Nothing elite. You know, you always like to at least get one of those. Mapu at linebacker is the other one we scout. I like Dion Avon a lot. I mean, obviously I do. Double A's. A pursuit, A tackle, B and B. Athletically speaking, outstanding. But like that's a guy we want to get in the second round. Maybe we'll overdraft in the second round. We just really need D tackle, and I'm not in love with either one of those guys. And there's no D end that like you can get that cheeky. You know, there'll be a 74 D end. You move him to D tackle, they're 76, and it looks like an absolute home run. Those don't exist. So my mind is thinking Caldwell will have the higher rating. Peterson might have a dev trait, and really we want upside. We want dev trait. I'm gonna change. There's no dev trait here. The other guy's better. 100% he's going to be a better player. But if we get a dev trade here, which we did, I bet the other guy doesn't. Because it's very rare you get a hidden dev with a guy that has not one. You need one. Even just one is enough to tip the scales to have a dev trait in terms of an elite attribute. Luckily, Avant's still on the board in the second round. Easy layup type pick. Damn. But you know what? He's not going to play his rookie season, so it's, if he had a hidden dev, you'd run a risk of him not getting a whole lot of snaps and losing it anyways. There's two running backs I like. First, I might actually get both. We've already done it before, draft a bunch of running backs, see what sticks. There's just no way we're giving James Cook a contract. It's going to be a pretty price. So we have Coakley here, A carry, A ball carry vision, 4.41 at the first of the 4-year dash. Your layup. Welcome to the team. He's probably going to be 75, 74. All right, so take a look at our draft. I will say one thing again, very, very similar. Is like 5th, 6th, 7th round. I'm not seeing value, man. That second draft, we peaked. That second draft was incredible. I liked every single round. Since then, get a picks in early. We got a 70 DN here, Worthen. We got our running back, Coakley, 75. I mean, these guys come and go. We've seen these a couple times. You get these power backs that have good ratings and dev trades. They exist rounds 4, 5, kind of that sweet spot. Durant, great athlete. Kind of surprised he didn't roll the dev trade given his athletic profile. But again, we kind of talked about it. He's not going to play a lot this first season, so maybe not the end of the world because you won't have to worry about that regression. And Peterson, 72 with the dev trait. Now, I want to go look at that other D tackle real quick. Just see if I was right. The other D tackle, my thought was he'll have a higher rating, so he'll be better than 72, but he won't have the dev trait. So let's see. He would have went right there. He's 75, so he's 3 points better. Normal dev. So we were right on that front. Look at the rest. Look at that. What you got here? We got the Dolphins. Pick 1-1. They got Parker as well, so they signed our premier pass rusher away. And they go out and get someone else on the other side. And Evan Briggs. Normal. Ooh. That stings. Oh. I don't think I've ever done that. Have I? In my content? I'm sure someone will remember. Kept the receipt. I don't think I've ever had a number 1 pick and ended up drafting, a turd. Wet fart, normal dev, anything like that. I think it's kind of a toss-up. We all had kind of solid drafts in the division here, AFC East. Year 6, and finally, someone has a chance, at least it appears, still early, still plenty of football left to collapse for the Dolphins, but we might get a challenge for the first time in 6 seasons here for the AFC East crown. Look at our contracts with $31 million. We got to be smart, and smart is not paying old linebackers. Smart is not 24 mil 1 year for Ed Oliver. Smart is not paying a running back. Smart is not paying a role player at linebacker. Smart is going at Larry Dyson and not disregarding the player because of a dev trait and giving him a 5-year, $25 million deal. He's going to get a dev trait. I mean, maybe he won't, but if he does, it's going to age well. We got Daniel Jones, 26 at safety. It's a little expensive, I'm going to be honest, considering I haven't really seen him make a whole lot of plays. We got Zane Durant, and we have Bruce Newton. Now, I really do like Newton. He's been an awesome player for us. I like Zane Durant. I feel like we got more at wide receiver. I mean, Legette and Rome Odunze, they're wide receiver 1 and 2, right? So, are we really going to play? Even if there's longer upside there, with Newton to grow into be wide receiver 2. Say Legette's a little bit older, right? 2 years older than Rome Odunze. So, I mean, maybe you love to keep them all, but the fact is you've got to pay a D tackle 1, especially because we're letting Ed Oliver walk, or a wide receiver 3. It's pretty easy. Which one you got to go with? Had a shot, but they blew it down the stretch. The Bills make it 6 straight AFC East titles. Suck it, Patriots. Peak Patriots. We are the new Patriots, which is something that Bills fans should feel good about. Looking at the offense, slipping it just a little bit. Still have a top 3 passing offense in the number 1 defense in the NFL. But I'm glad that we finished the year out strong because seeing what we're about to lose in free agency, a lot of starters, both sides of the ball, it's realistic to expect this is our last big, worst Super Bowl favorite year. We're definitely going to be competitive. As long as we have Josh Allen, we're going to be competitive. We have great players other spots. But our team is going to take a step back going into next year. It's going to be that much more difficult to get back. While we have the band together, it's important we try to string off a couple Super Bowls here. We didn't have a single award winner. Josh Allen, 4,400 yards, 36 touchdowns, 5 picks, as well as almost 500 yards rushing, which is pretty solid. James Cook is what it is. I let Coakley, this back stretch of the season, get more and more reps, and he, finished somewhat respectably. We made him an outright starter. Maybe would have been a little bit higher up in the offensive rookie of the year. Odunze crushed it. Legette crushed it. Newton in his final year in Buffalo. Great deep threat. And you know what? If he leaves, maybe it's just time for Dalton Kincaid to step up a little bit more. And on the defensive side of the ball, Bernard, in what is likely his final year here in Buffalo, over 100 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 picks, 16.5 sacks for Russo. Trey Smith comes in and does a job. Very affordable pass rusher. Goes from outside linebacker down to, in the trenches a little bit. And he very much filled that TJ Parker role. We got 9 sacks from Durant, 6.5 from Ed Oliver in his final year as a Buffalo Bill. Let's get some career summaries for some of those guys. James Cook, 7,300 yards, 63 touchdowns in his Bills career. Newton, great deep threat, 3 years, 4 years, 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns as like a gadget role player is pretty awesome. Terrell Bernard, just under 800 tackles, 12.5 TFLs, 12.5 sacks, 47 TFLs with 10 picks. Ed Oliver, 500 tackles, 125 TFLs, 63 sacks. Thanks for your service, fellas. Let's get you another ring. Tough game in the first round, but enough that you get to flex our offensive muscles there a little bit. Defeating the Raiders. Solid game there from Josh Allen and Coakley. Well, we feel pretty good about our new RB1. Jaguars in the divisional round, 10-7. They have the #1 offense in the league, going against the #1 defense in the league. And our #1 defense gave up 31 points. Josh Allen, player of the week, but damn it. All silver lining, I guess, is we did lose to the eventual Super Bowl champions. Congrats to the Jags. Not much as far as dev traits on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. However, Avant, who now needs to step up because we're losing both of our other starting linebackers, he was normal dev, and we somehow, some way, got him up a star dev trait, which, cool. That's a win. It's a total bummer that we did not achieve any playoff success, knowing that our team is going to be significantly weaker. Looking at the offense, we definitely are going to need to try to target a wide receiver 3. We were hurt much worse on the defensive side of the ball, where we are going to need arguably 3 players at least minimum. We need 2 linebackers, at least one impact linebacker to pair with Avant. Ideally, we could find 2, maybe a cheap, affordable one in free agency, one in the draft. We need a new starting strong safety. I mean, we got to also be concerned about the age of our corner room. I mean, Kyrie Elam and Benford are getting up there in age as well. So, need to get some hits here. Not much a linebacker. Best safety is Daniel Jones. He just never had the production, man, to justify 4 picks. He gets a lot of tackles, but I'd rather, I'd rather look at the draft. Keep our money. Keep what limited salary we have. Roll it over next year. Look towards the draft for linebacker, safety, and wide receiver 3. But pick 27 in the first round. We need a safety. I've done a little scouting at the 2 that look kind of good. One was Micah Parsons' brother of another mother, Luke Parsons, 6'2", 220, who's a hitter. Not a great athlete, though. That's kind of scaring me off. It is rare, though, to see like a first-round projected safety suck. It's about finding the good one. Finding one that might have a dev. And I think out of all the guys that are kind of in that bubble, Snell does have B-man coverage. So he's the best coverage guy available. He's also big hitter, 225. That can get the job done. Combine, not amazing, but he does at least have the 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle you're looking for. Maybe not the best value in the first round, but I think that's the top safety in the entire draft. Might as well get him. Why wait and risk him not being there in the second round or having to trade multiple picks to get him in the second? Just get him now. Get the 5th-year option, day 1 starter for us. Now we got our linebacker, middle linebacker, like an off-ball linebacker. Linebackers suck when you're trying to find the edge rushers. I'm going to be honest with you. But when you're looking for off-ball linebackers, the pursuit kind of sucks here. But the A-zone, I'm always a zone coverage guy. You give me high zone coverage, you give me a guy that's a big-time athlete, and Minter has the 40-yard dash, the 3-cone, the 20-yard shuttle you're looking for. The bench press is outstanding. It can make you kind of forget that he has deep pursuit, which is kind of butt cheeks. Everything else, the athletic profile, 90 acceleration, 89 speed, 79 strength. This guy's a beast, and also going to be a day 1 starter for us in the middle of the defense. We'll take a swing at a wide receiver here. Need a wide receiver 3. Not exactly like the 4-2 you're looking for, but Got great acceleration. We'll take that. And a dev trait. Oh, I should show the beginning. It's what these guys exist. This guy had A break tackle, A carrying, 4.4 speed, power back archetype, hidden dev, the same exact criteria that we used last year to get Coakley. After a couple mid drafts, very happy with how this one kind of broke down. We got Burke, was another one of my targets here, late 6th round, big speed at the wide receiver spot. Just adding a little bit more depth there with shorts. We got the 70 with the dev trait, Childress 73, hidden dev, which you feel good about. Minter 75 with the dev, and the big pick, Clay Snell 75 with the dev. Dolphins had kind of an ass draft. Jets did not. 76 DN at pick 15 is great value. Got a 74 safety. Ain't bad. Patriots got a lot of depth as well. Almost all their picks in the 70s. They got some competition for Tua here. 2nd round hidden dev quarterback. Maybe one to watch. Steve Jordan. Okay. Knew there was going to be regression. We lost a lot. Didn't think we'd be 3rd in the division. 3-4 below 500. We're still 95 offense, 91 base overall, but team is not handling adversity the best here in year 7. Now, because last year we made so many tough decisions with how we want to handle the roster, this year, not as brutal. Still not super easy. We have Duncan Baker at tackle. It's a lot of money, man. Especially because sometimes you can get value at tackle. I think we kind of wait and see there a little bit. Benford wants a bag. Elam wants a bag. Legette, Rousseau. I mean, we got to pay the top 2 docs. Chance Peterson. Let's lock him in for the remainder of the rebuild. One of the best tackles in football. Probably the best pure pass blocking tackle in football. Greg Rousseau has been incredible. Let's get him 3-year locked in remainder of the rebuild. What kind of money we see? We just don't got enough. Legette can't afford. Elam can't. I mean, we could, but that'd be super tight. Unless we get a nice little influx. We're at that point, man. We made that decision earlier on. We spent a lot of money early. Now we're kind of reaping the repercussions of that. I'm confident that we can replace some, but it's unfortunate to describe this Bills rebuild, here in year 7 as the wheels are falling off, but the wheels are kind of falling off, man. We can't afford to keep ship up. Our 6-year reign of the AFC East is unfortunately over. We still make the playoffs. We got ourselves a ticket in. 9-8. We're probably the 9-8 team no team wants to face, but kudos to the Dolphins for ending our 6-year reign on top of the division. But we still, we're clanging and banging here. Offensively, fell a little bit, but still top 10 passing offense, a top 10 defense overall. We got a defensive play of the year in Greg Rousseau. And while the D-line itself was great, Greg Rousseau a step above the rest. 71 tackles, 16 TFLs, 21.5 sacks. Happy we were able to lock him in for the remainder of the rebuild this year. Linebacker Juwan Minter also won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Snell within the top 5 as well. Minter led the team with 120 tackles, 8 TFLs, and a sack, deserving of Defensive Rookie of the Year. Of course, as soon as I can't afford to pay him, Cyrus Torrance wins Lineman of the Year, so that's likely going to be a superstar dev for him. So it's going to require a little bit of a Cinderella run. But here in year 7, given the losses that we've had, happy to make the playoffs. It was always it's one of those years, man. We need a slight reset. I think we need to take a step backwards, maybe even 2 step backwards, so that we can position ourselves to go on another Super Bowl run in the remaining 3 years of this rebuild. But this year just wasn't meant to be, man. Not enough chemistry, not enough consistency on the offensive side of the ball. And we lost a lot last offseason, and we're losing a lot this offseason. We need to start drafting a lot better. In the Aaron Rodgers Bowl, Packers defeat the Jets in the Super Bowl. I mean, we're going to lose it with Torrance, but I'm proud of the fact that we got 4 to 5 linemen superstar dev. It's Eagles-esque, Howie Roseman-esque. Can't afford to pay Legette, who's been here since the very beginning. He also regressed from superstar down to a star, so maybe the writing's on a wall. But shout out Legette, great role player, great wide receiver too. Stepped into that Gabe Davis role as he leaves the Bills with 578 receptions, almost 7,800 yards, and 66 touchdowns in his career. Defensively, the 2 big losses that we're about to lose. Benford, hell of a story coming from Villanova. Finishes with 491 tackles, 11 picks. Kyer Elam made the most. We gave him a second chance. He ran with it, was our corner one for the last 2-3 seasons. He finishes his career in Buffalo with 12 picks. Did get some good dev traits going our way on the defensive side of the ball. Juwan Minter was a star dev, wins Rookie of the Year on the defensive side of the ball, and is up to a superstar. So long way to go for him to continue to develop, but we might have our Matt Milano successor finally. And along with the reigning defending Defensive Player of the Year, Greg Rousseau, Zane Durant, our top draft pick in our second ever draft, has grown up to a superstar X Factor this year, and he's ready to be a successor for Ed Oliver. I gotta try. I gotta at least offer him what he's looking for. Hey, it might bite us in the ass, but I can't let a lineman of the year, while I have money, walk. I want those superstars. With only $3.5 million, I'm not even gonna window shop in free agency. We can't sign anybody. We'll say, going through my scouting, I get it. I know there was a meme, but I've never seen the coldest be used in a Madden-generated draft class. Shout out the coldest holiday out of South Florida. So at pick 19 in the first round, we got plenty of spots we need. We need tackle. We probably need a plug-and-play right tackle, to be honest with you. We need a tackle. We need a plug-and-play safety to replace Benford. We need corners. It's a weak corner class. And we got a safety here. The letter grades aren't off the chains, but I've seen and looked for enough safeties over the last couple of years in this rebuild in particular that there's just not a lot of big-time athletes. Getting guys at 4.5s. This is a different case because he's 220, so he's built like that old-school big-hitting safety, but he also has the athleticism. 4.39, 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle looks good. So while I don't know what the base, like, I wouldn't be shocked if he's like a 71, 72, but I'm pretty sure with those athletic traits, he's got to have a dev trait, and that is the biggest hurdle. So welcome, Haskins. All right, I'm just simming pick by pick. I got 3 linemen that I would be all right drafting. One just went off the board to the Ravens, Hartwig. The next one just went Merritt, pick after to the Texans. Fuck. The fucking Cowboys just took my tackle. Fuck! All right, well, we'll pivot to a corner. Evan Andrews has A-man coverage, elite acceleration, elite agility, and of course, let's just keep piling it on. I can't believe. Through all 3 linemen, I thought at pick 19, it's not like we're picking where we usually pick after a long playoff season, 26, 27, 30, 31, 32. Thought at 19, oh my God. And then we get this is not the type of drafting that we need to compensate for what we're losing every year because we can't afford to keep these big players here. We got 1 lineman left. Pete Clancy, welcome aboard. Hey, here we go. A little bit of a dev trait, but he's absolutely not able to kick out the tackle. So looking at my draft recap, a good draft. We needed a good draft. 72 tight ends, 72 wideout, 74 Clancy, hidden dev lineman, 75 on Andrews, the normal dev corner. Not brutal, plus he's going to see the field sooner than later, so might be able to trigger a dev trait there. But Haskins happy with that. 75, going to be a day 1 starter for us at safety. Dolphins draft was butt cheeks. Jets draft was solid. A lot of normal devs, but Patriots not too bad, especially getting that 76 tight end in the second round. Now, curiosity killed me on the Cowboys tackle pick. 2 picks before us, we would have had a full gold offensive line. 2 picks away. Now we go into your 8 quick team preview. We've been able to kind of survive, even though it feels like our team is held together with duct tape a little bit. We got Torrance back on a 1-year deal. Just 1 lineman of the year at guard, but due to necessity, got to throw the Merritt tackle. He is the Clancy undersized, Jones undersized, Kirkpatrick. All these guys are barely 300 pounds, 6'2", 6'3". Torrance 6'4", 330. I think we can get by. Defense is, it's rounded out there a little bit. Minter, we got our 2 linebackers, got our 2 young safeties. Corner room might not have the dev traits, but 84, 87, 77, the rookie. Could be worse. The D-line is pretty much elite, which is fair to say. We are a little weak at wide receiver, though. We got Odunze. Kincaid needs to step up, but wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, not the best. So with a little bit of cash that we got, we're going to get, oh my God, I can't even get DJ Moore. What about Benson? Can I afford you? Nope. All right. That's the dumbest thing, man. The dumbest thing going in Madden is these minimum free agent contracts. So I was thinking here I'd be able to, this is my insert complaint. What about this guy? Corin Jarrett. Can I steal him away from the Cowboys practice squad? I can. Suck it, Dallas. Suck it. Midseason year 8, it's, I hate for this rebuild. 10 years in, year 6, 7, 8 kind of going through the motions. That's just the nature of our roster. And you're acting like it is all doom and gloom. I'm acting like it's all doom and gloom. We're still an 89 overall, 92 offense, led by Josh Allen. But we got 1 wide receiver on the roster. Got a lot of money here in free agency, but we also got guys that need to get paid. $76 million. And we pretty much, We got to get Josh Allen locked in for 2 years. I don't even know how much he's going to want. We'll try like 20, that. There we go. So we got Josh Allen, as long as he doesn't retire, locked in for the remainder of the rebuild. This Maven contract's actually pretty reasonable for a former Defensive Rookie of the Year. Trey Moore at pass rush. He's been solid. Good role player for us. If he'll take a 2-year, he's not going to. He wants more money. So I don't think there's a way that, it just feels like we've been on a stretch. Ever since we won our Super Bowl, every year we're losing 2 to 3 starters. And we just haven't had S-tier drafts. Now, I'm not even going to argue that we haven't had S-tier drafts. There's been a couple players that I've missed on. But generally speaking, there just hasn't been great draft classes with great talent, first, second, third rounds, that we could even sniff them out and find some docs. And I remember, I don't know if it was year 5 or 6, I was like, we're spending too much money. I think we're going to regret this at some point. Here we are, year 8, didn't even make the playoffs. 8-9, below 500. I mean, the roster's still good, 90 overall, 90 plus in every single category, but it's Madden. You need to have the best team or else you're not winning. Or you have Kansas City or Dallas playbook. Got to shout out anybody. It's Greg Rousseau for winning another Defensive Player of the Year award. And he crushed it yet again, man. 17 TFLs, 21.5 sacks. Peterson and Durant on the inside crushed it. So it makes me not feel as bad that we can't afford to pay or re-sign Trey Moore. Interceptions, we had 1 on the whole team. Receiving, no one went over 1,000. Everything had to go through Odunze, and he just got like triple teamed, I imagined. And no one else could step up and make plays. Running back, he was generally not that great. 390 and 7 rushing touchdowns. So that gives Josh Allen 30 total on the year. But he's also getting up there in age. And Father Time is undefeated. That pains a little bit because not only was it a changing of the guard, it feels like the last 2 years we've slipped up. The Dolphins have stepped up. Dolphins get a Super Bowl win in there in the Battle of Florida. Our salary cap is in a terrible spot. I don't even think it's wise picking up the 5th-year option on Peterson here. We are in the red. We owed money. We owe money to Roger Goodell. All right, so what do we need? How can I fix this? We desperately, wide receiver is our biggest need. But we need a wide receiver. We need tight end. We need a right tackle. We need, on the defensive side of the ball, a pass rusher. Yeah, we're probably okay in the secondary, but we need pass rusher and tackle. Those are super expensive. Game changers at wide receiver, super expensive. Tight ends aren't cheap either. Tough to draft. We were aggressive in free agency. Got some nice signings here. We got Nick Taylor, who I'm going to kick out to tackle at 6'6", 338. We got Banks at pass rush, 78, 25 years old. Hopefully best football set. I mean, we just need a role player. We need a guy that's not a liability. Let 2-time defending in a row Defensive Player of the Year Greg Rousseau do his thing. We got ourselves a little bit of a Band-Aid at tight end. Keith Coleman, 77, with a dev trait for the next 2 years. So that means we go into the draft, get best wide receiver available, and then just BPA from there on out. So going into the draft, I found the wide receiver I think I want. Of course, our best pick, our worst, whatever you want to phrase it, worst pick in a minute. You still have to trade up. But at pick 11, in the old Maddens, this was 100% a hit. Be deep route running, don't know his catching, even though I fucking scouted wide receivers, but he has elite speed. Didn't attend the combine or pro day. That used to be guaranteed stud. I want him. So for the cost of us to trade up a couple spots here, the Patriots at pick 10, so we can leapfrog the Commanders. They want our first beyond, like, what is it going to cost for this rebuild? For this video, it is going to cost us our 2nd round pick this year, our 3rd round pick this year, our 3rd round pick next year, to move up a couple spots to get an absolute blind pick that didn't test at all. I'm sure that's not going to blow up in our face. Sometimes you need to trust. I get that top 5 true talent. You got to trust. You got to trust Josh Waldron, White Lightning at A&M. 93 acceleration, 95 change of direction, 96 speed, hidden dev. Let's go. Wide receiver 2. We might as well just draft the next best wide receiver, Jose Overton out of LSU, AA for catch of traffic and catching. 6'2", 229, ran a 4.4. Combine's not incredible. I mean, like the vert jump, not brutal. Really would like a dev trade on him, to be honest with you. We get it. And now we're back to having, because I mean, we can facilitate 3. Sometimes you only need 2. Sometimes it's a fantasy land. It's a luxury to have 3 wide receivers. But we've seen, going back to when we had Khalil Shakir, Xavier Legette, Rome Odunze, hell, even Kincaid. This Bills offense, when firing on all cylinders, can easily have 2,000-yard receivers and a guy that gets 800 yards and double-digit touchdowns. So that is what we're going all in with weapons to try to get something here in the last 2 years of this Bills rebuild with Josh Allen. Come on, give me some dogs. That's what we need. Rest of the draft, butt cheeks. Day 3 of the drafts have not been great. Sometimes we could find value, but we had 2 firsts. Overton 74, hidden dev. Waldron 77 with the dev. Not generational, nothing crazy like that. I mean, the reality is, too, it only cost us, what, a couple seconds, couple thirds to move up. Worth it at this point in this reel for a guy that can be an absolute game changer. Patriots had like a kind of mid-draft. Jets got themselves a dog in the first round. 77, hidden dev pass rusher. And the defending Super Bowl champion Dolphins. They get a nice pick there in the end of the first round there. Our sights are set. It is our turn to come back and get the goddamn crown of the AFC East. Just because we've been flying by the seat of our pants, we've had a lot of turnover. Josh Allen might not go the full rebuild. There is a shot he retires. I would like to see him come back for one more year, but he's 36. So in case this is a final hurrah, and then let's be honest, if he retires, we're fucked and we're not going to be able to compete at all year 10. This could be our last chance. 2, we needed wide receivers desperately. We got them. We went out and addressed it. We got ourselves a stopgap right tackle there, converted from a guard, 83. The offensive line, elite. We've done an outstanding job this rebuild. Even though the wheels have fallen off, and really since we won the Super Bowl, going 16-1 year 5, it slowly just dropped. I think we can finish strong. We can find a way to fit. This team is still really freaking good. Odunze, 99, did lose his X factor. That was just because last year was butt cheeks. Everyone sucked last year. I'm surprised Josh Allen didn't even regress. But we still have the best offensive line in football. We still have the best wide receiver in football. We still have the best quarterback in football. On the defensive side of the ball, we have the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in back-to-back seasons, looking for 3 in Rousseau. Yeah, maybe we don't got the rest of the star ability in the secondary. No game changers in the secondary. No game changer on the other side of Rousseau. But, you let these 3 eat. You let Minter control. You let the secondary make plays. Bend, don't break. I think we're at least back in the playoffs this year, if not better, depending on how good these wide receivers are, these rookies. The good news, midway point, the rookie wide receiver we traded up for is a superstar dev here in Josh Waldron. Already up 2-80, thriving in the scheming system. Exactly what we needed on the other side of Odunze. We're 4-3, back on top of the East. It's not like we're magically like 6-1, 7-0, kind of thing like that, but we're sitting on top. We're looking good at the halfway point. We're coming off a strong performance over the Jets, 31-13. Josh Allen getting back in the rhythm of winning Players of the Week. Again, still paying for our sins. We are $8 million in the red, and we're about to lose a starting D tackle, our second best linebacker, our starting running back, and a 93 superstar guard. Cool. I mean, I guess come end of this season, we could cheese a little bit, restructure some contracts, free up some money. Ideally, Kirkpatrick, we find a way to keep him. We can replace the running back. I'd say Kirkpatrick, Avant, if I had to pick 2. We're back. It's another divisional title, 12-5. All we needed was to make a big move in the trade. Sometimes you just need to go all in. You got to spend money to make money, spending money, aka like our draft capital, future draft capital. We gamble, and it brings us back offensively. Somehow the defense also just miraculously was inspired by the offense, and they finished with the number 2 defense in the NFL. To be honest, a little bummed out. Waldron and or Overton did not win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Thought that'd be a free dev trait. Greg Rousseau's production fell off a cliff. Cool. We did get DB of the Year in Larry Dyson. 6 interceptions. That's a dog. And I mean, you know what? No shots at Rousseau saying he fell off. 17 TFLs, 13.5 sacks. Pretty damn respectable. Zane Durant crushing it as well. On the receiving end, Odunze just Stefon Diggs, Waldron, the rookie, 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns. Coleman and Overton were great role players. The run game was, serviceable. Josh Allen getting in there. But look at this. 4,400 yards, 39 touchdowns to 3 picks. Josh Allen is back, baby. He got himself his 3rd NFL MVP of the rebuild. And he could retire. I hope he doesn't retire, but he could retire. Yeah, see if we go on around first round. We dispose of the Broncos 24-7 with a Zane Durant Defensive Player of the Week performance, 2 sacks. Tough matchup in the divisional round, though. Raiders have been very good in this rebuild in the AFC. I would argue it's probably been, obviously, the Chiefs first. I'd put the Raiders second. And they got a top 5 offense. It's going to be a problem. Going to be a tough game. We're able to win a close one, 21-17. And it's Josh Allen doing enough. 3 total touchdowns, willing this team to the AFC Championship game. We run into Malik Neighbors and the 12-5 Jags, who are equally, they match up well against us. 2 top teams, the 2 best teams in the AFC this year. One can only go to the Super Bowl, and it's going to be us because we got the MVP. Oh, let's go. 34-28 to the good guys, and the MVP played like it. Threw almost 60 times. 60, that's a lot. That's not the balance that we love, but 439 yards, 4 touchdowns, and the Bills are back in the Super Bowl. We are meeting the big bad purple people eater, 12-5 Minnesota Vikings. Very good roster. 90. They're better than us, debatably. More well-rounded. 92 offense, 91 defense, 91 overall. Number 2 offense in the NFL. Top 10 defense. I want to sneak a peek at the roster. They still got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Double 99s. Ruben Bain, 99 X Factor. Arch Manning at quarterback. Ladarius Irvin, an X Factor at running back. Jesus Christ. A little linebacker. Darisaw, 97. They got Jared Verse on their pass rush. McMillan, Edgerrin Cooper. Whew. Pretty goddamn good team, be honest with you. This is where Josh Allen submits his legacy. Another Super Bowl. He's already probably locked in first ballot Hall of Famer. But another Super Bowl, you start getting into like top 3, top 5 all time. Move over Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. But I think he needs another Super Bowl. You need 2. We get the first strike of the game. Ooh, back-to-back scores there for the Vikings. They're playing pretty stingy defense here, all things considered, for how explosive we are with the Dunes. But, they got Addison and Jefferson. They only got 10 points. Just getting that go-ahead score there. 4th and 8. Ooh, give me an opportunity to come in here. 4th and 8. Why not? Why not? This is where I excel. What are these plays? We only have one. You only like one play here, coach? We'll go slot 2 buck. Where's Odunze? I should have all day. My offensive line, superstar, superstar, superstar. Oh, he dropped it! No! We go to the rookie. First round pick. What are you doing going him? You go Odunze. You go the rookie, the superstar rookie. God damn it! At least Josh Allen's committing for the whole rebuild. I love that. I respect that. I appreciate it. He's coming back year 10. So we're 10 mil in the red. We want to kind of re-sign some people. Let's go cheese as many restructures as we can. Leave this team in a garbage dump year 11. We don't got to worry about year 11. We've already traded away year 11's first round pick. What's ruining their salary cap as well. So we can get 11 mil from Odunze. Almost 6.5 from Peterson, the left tackle. Get some here from the center. Go 5 mil from Durant. You know what's bad? When you go hat in hand, poor me, please sir, can I have some more to your 97 generational punter that you drafted? And he can't give you a goddamn cent. But we're able to go 10 million in the red to 16 mil available. There's no way we can keep Kirkpatrick. We can get potentially the running back. All right, we got a running back. Nice. We got enough of the... maybe we should have went linebacker over running back. Well, we kept a running back. I think I just messed that up. So for agency, we're able to replace guard that we just lost. When I replaced, we just lost a 94 X superstar. Might as well be an X Factor guard. We replace him, we get an 80 star. We bring back our generational punter, which means we go into the draft. We still have a first round pick. We need a starting D tackle and a starting linebacker. And if we can get those 2, I think we might have a shot at getting back to a Super Bowl. We need D-tackle, linebacker, and when you get a nose tackle, there's no first rounders. You just get your guy at this point. The 378 with double A power, 378 pounds, 41 reps on the bench press, Let's give me a normal dev. Clearly, that's a normal dev player. Our best shot at a linebacker, the only guy that has anything A's. It's kind of bipolar to what I like to go with the zone coverage, but A pursuit, A block shed, which is, you're starting to tick off some boxes there. B awareness, A hit power, B play rack. A little bit more of an old school linebacker. Elite jumping, good speed. I'm not in love with it. He's probably normal dev because that's, we got a Super Bowl. It's going down a successful rebuild. If I had to say why this isn't dynasty type, we just haven't. We've had good drafts. We've got good players, but that was earlier on. Back stretch of this rebuild, just haven't got, for us to even get a really good player, we had to trade a whole freaking draft to get that wide receiver last year. Hasn't gone our way. I mean, for us, it was a weak D-tackle class anyway. So 74, where we got it, not brutal. 74 normal, 75 normal. It's not the end of the world. There's just no dev traits. But, I mean, we're at the end of the rebuild, I guess. So you're not going to be able to see the length of those dev traits anyway. Decent draft there from the Miami Dolphins. The Jets, decent draft as well. 75 corner in the second round is pretty good value. Patriots, not bad either. Taking another swing on a quarterback. Feels like they get one every other year. And we are now here for our 10th and final season. Josh Allen has done just about everything Josh Allen could potentially do. Multiple MVPs. He's got us a Super Bowl win. He's got us to the Super Bowl. And honestly, I thought he was going to retire. And he decided, you know what? I'm going to give you 10 years. I'm going to give you one more season that we can try to go on top. And, this has been a rebuild where we said we won the Super Bowl year 5 after a 16-1 season. That was nearly perfection. But we paid a lot of money then. I was like, we're probably going to, at some point over the closure of this video, we're going to feel how aggressive we were spending our money early. And that's kind of been the case here. It's fair to say in this one, because we've only done 3 10-year rebuilds, but easily in this Bills rebuild, we've lost the most talent leaving the building because we couldn't afford to keep them. I think a part of that is the fact that, in the Texans rebuild, we still had some years of rookie contract C.J. Stroud. In the Bears rebuild, we had the years of Caleb Williams' rookie contract. We've been paying Josh Allen top-tier money, and we've been trying to balance the roster around that. But we got Rome Odunze, who has been absolutely incredible. Going down as a Bills legend at 98, pretty much a 99, but he's regressed because he's 30 years old. Let's finally give him a team captaincy badge. Put the C on his chest. He's been incredible. I can't wait to look and recap what his stats look like when all is said and done. We got a 99 center and pretty much a 99 left tackle. Both superstar, both homegrown. The offense is outstanding. You make the argument, you're not going to find an offense a lot better than that, given the fact our quarterback is still a $60 million cap hit every single year. The defense, the dev traits look a little light. I'm not too worried about the linebacker here. We run primarily 2 linebackers, and Minter 94 X Factor is the key. And then you got Riddick on the outside 88. D-line is what it is. We got the role play. We got the almost 400-pound rookie D tackle there who's going to play. But for the most part, Durant will get double-digit sacks. Rousseau will get double-digit sacks. They do a job. The secondary, 88, 90, 82, 88, and 88 superstar. Very good secondary. So it might not be a complete juggernaut S-tier team. But this team is, at minimum, good enough to give us one more ticket to the lottery this offseason to go on and try and close this out with our second Super Bowl. You know why? Because we have a secret weapon. We've drafted a secret weapon. And that is a 99 superstar punter. In year 10, we got more than just giving us a chance. We got a first-round bye. 13-4, our 8th AFC East title in 10 years. So we've been able to pull the New England Patriots and take over utter dominance in this division. Josh Allen almost, as an old man, gets MVP. Somehow Mahomes is now on the Eagles. Huh? Now, we didn't have any award winners, but we're going to celebrate every individual because they put in work to get the 1 seed down. 4,000 yards, 34 touchdowns, 6 picks for Josh Allen. On top of, honestly, kind of surprising, his rushing numbers are back up as an old man. He's kind of, remember Ryan Fitzpatrick? Near the end, right before he retired, he would just scramble, run head on into people. I feel like that's what Josh Allen's doing. We got 1,200 yards from Coakley. We got another 1,000-yard season from Rome Odunze with another 12 touchdowns. On top of Waldron was a nice little secondary weapon there. Minter, over 100 tackles. We got 11 sacks from Rousseau, who's been absolutely incredible in this rebuild. Riddick with 9, 6.5 for Durant, 3 picks. Larry Dyson, happy with those numbers. Beat the Jags in the first round of the playoffs. Honestly, they've been one of the best teams in the AFC. Surprise, surprise. I was actually thinking Jags are probably one of the more likely teams that should get a 10-year rebuild next, just because it does feel like the Jags are in that purgatory of like, are they good, are they bad? Let's see if we can help them steer the ship towards championships. They've been very good. We've met them a lot of times here in the playoffs. 88 overall. I mean, this could be a close game. Ooh, the number 2 defense in the league holds them to 3 points, 28-3. Greg Rousseau, the hat trick of sacks. Appreciate it. In the AFC Championship game, 13-4 Titans, 13-4 Bills. You know the Titans are pissed off that they didn't get the 1 seed. We had the tiebreaker. They got Brock Bowers, got the top 10 offense, number 2 rushing offense, number 1 passing defense. Woo, okay. But this Bills team that has struggled years 1, 2, 3, 4, we would never have got this victory. This was a team that we have seen no clutch plays, no clutch gene. Josh Allen fall apart in the biggest games. Offensive and defensive. I assume we're probably playing the Falcons Super Bowl, but Josh Allen and Minter get the job done. And in year 10, the Bills have a chance at another Super Bowl. Josh Allen, I mean, again, not big time from Josh Allen, even though he got played, but look, it's 2 rushing touchdowns. I'm telling you, man, he's running like an absolute maniac. Odunze, Waldron, 53 and a tutty. Defensively, we got the 2 picks from Minter, picking off passes over the middle of the field. Maven with a pick. Rousseau and Riddick with a sack. And we're coming for the Falcons' ass. But before we get to the Super Bowl, let's recap what we've been able to accomplish here over these 10 seasons. Josh Allen at 65,000 yards passing, 511 touchdowns, 124 picks. Also, 8,200 yards rushing and 102 rushing touchdowns, which makes him 7th all-time in far as passing yards is concerned. You throw on the rushing yards, you bump him right up there. He's goated. 6th all-time in passing touchdowns. Almost makes the all-time rushing touchdown list. Greg Rousseau on the all-time sack leaders list, trying to catch Bruce Smith. It's been incredible. We've had insane players. Rome Odunze. He's not retiring yet. He'd go over 1,000 catches, 13,000 yards, 106 receiving touchdowns. That is insane. Defensively, Rousseau, 818 tackles, 193 TFLs, 173 and a half career sacks. Zane Durant, another big-time player that we drafted, 555 tackles, 137 TFLs, 87 sacks. 14 picks. I mean, more of our established long-term corners. They're no longer long DBs here, but shout out Greg Rousseau. What a player. Now, standing between us and a Super Bowl is the 11-6 Atlanta Falcons, who bring a top 5 offense, the number 1 rushing offense. However, their defense is kind of butt cheeks. They got a talented roster. Caleb Williams. I mean, they're getting up there in age a little bit, but Caleb Williams, Caleb Downs, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts is still there. They got Lassiter. They got Miles Murphy. They got Drake London. Shamar Turner. Some real players. And they've done an outstanding job by looking at some of these superstars. Once we've gone in the January draft classes, really flushing out their roster. But really, it is the Caleb Williams and given their number 1 rushing offense, Bijan Robinson show. Let's go, baby. Come on, Destiny. 2 Super Bowls. Josh Allen, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He's retired. He's not playing another season. So this is his final chance at something special, and we are trading field goals. The defense is rising, but we need to remind ourselves, Atlanta's defense, one of the worst in the league, a bottom 10 defense in the league. Luckily able to get that touchdown before the end. Oh, back-to-back scores. Touchdown at the end of the first half, touchdown to start the second half, and it's just too much right now for the Atlanta Falcons. Oh, baby, 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 baby! 2 Super Bowls, 24-13. Josh Allen is going, he can't believe it, he is going to retire a Super Bowl champion. We need this. The last 10-year rebuild we won one. The Texans, 1-1 rebuild, or 1-1 Super Bowl. Lost 4. That stung. Bills know a thing about losing 4 Super Bowls. So we come to this one. Year 5, beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Finally! After years of struggling to get past the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC side of the bracket, year 5, we beat the Eagles. Last year, a Super Bowl loss against the Vikings, and then we lost a bunch of talent to free agency. But we come back year 10. Josh Allen gives us one more year, and we cap this thing off. This Bills 10-year realistic rebuild with our second Super Bowl trophy. Did we turn this team into a dynasty? We made one of the best teams. We got to play a little bit of New England Patriot in the AFC East, running dominance in that division. But I'm happy with our 2 Super Bowls because at the end of the day, after the Bills lost all of that talent in the 2023-2024 offseason, no Stefon Diggs, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Gabe Davis, all these guys dropping like flies, can't pay him, don't want to pay him, trade away, Trey White gone. It's all about number 17. And there was a moment, 4 years of losing and not being able to get past the Chiefs. I was like, do we blow this up? Do we fire sale Josh Allen for like 3-4 first-round picks and a couple other players and just blow this thing up and rebuild from the ground? But we stayed with him, and he ended up being one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And that's all you can ask. So that will do it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed our 10-year rebuild of the Buffalo Bills. As always, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Very much helps out the channel, helps out these videos in the old search algorithm to push them up ahead of, you know, lame mutt content and stuff like that and stupid challenges. So I very much would appreciate that. And let me know in the comment section below what rebuild you guys want to see next. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out, love you. Have a good one.